So Charlie Intel tweeted at 11:02. He said, "Breaking: the United States FTC is filing a lawsuit to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard." First reported by the Washington Post. There is a small chance, I guess, that Call of Duty and Activision does not get purchased by Microsoft now because of this. Microsoft has already shown that it can and will withhold content from its gaming rivals. Today, we seek to stop Microsoft from gaining control over a leading independent game studio and using it to harm competition in multiple dynamic and fast-growing gaming markets. That's what the FTC said. The FTC said that Microsoft will take Activision and basically make it so they are the only ones that have Activision games. They're saying that Microsoft will withhold content from, let's say, PlayStation or PC or something like that, because they're going to own it. They have a monopoly on like the gaming market at this point. So then Activision Blizzard's statement on Microsoft making a deal with Nintendo for Call of Duty, right? "We want Call of Duty to be enjoyed by more players around the world. That requires COD being on diverse platforms after the merger of Microsoft and Activision. Microsoft has said consistently they want the same thing and are fully committed to making it happen. To back it up, Microsoft has offered 10-year guarantees for COD to Nintendo, Steam, and Sony. It's great news for gamers. We applaud Microsoft's commitment, blah, blah." They're saying that Microsoft has already offered 10-year guarantees, like 10-year guarantees that Call of Duty will stay on these platforms. I don't necessarily understand where the FTC is coming from in this point, because if they've already offered these guarantees, but the question is, are they offering these, but they're insane offers like, hey, if you want access to this game, you'll have to pay $1 billion or something like that. And they're making it so they're pricing out some of these other companies that were using COD for the last 15-20 years. That's what I'm worried about. Think about like how Kroger bought Safeway Albertsons. There are a lot of problems with Kroger buying Safeway Albertsons because it is like a monopoly, and basically at that point Kroger controls the market for groceries and whatnot. That's, I think, what they're saying here is if Microsoft was to buy Activision, Activision is such a big independent company that they're going to basically control the market for all these games, including Call of Duty, which is obviously one of the biggest. There's a lot to go over here. The FTC states Microsoft bought Bethesda and then decided to make Bethesda games exclusive, and states they could do it all over again with Activision Blizzard titles. Like, do you guys think that could happen? Because they're basically trying to block the acquisition, like they say here, of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft. The FTC is directly stating one of their key reasons in suing to block the deal is how Microsoft handled the Bethesda deal with regulators. Said they'd keep games multi-platform, then change their minds after, which again is the problem, right? Agency notes that Microsoft decided to make several of Bethesda's titles, including Starfield and Redfall, Microsoft exclusives, despite assurances it had given to European antitrust authorities that it had no incentive to withhold games from rival consoles. Let's talk a million times that Microsoft buying Call of Duty could make Call of Duty a Microsoft or Xbox exclusive, which would obviously be a fat fucking L if that happened. And obviously I play on PlayStation, a lot of people play on PC, and they gave assurances for these games, but then they changed their mind and those assurances went away. Which at that point, I feel like Microsoft should have been sued for it. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Microsoft says, "We continue to believe that this deal will expand competition and create more opportunities for gamers and game developers. We have been committed since day one to addressing competition concerns, including by offering earlier this week proposed concessions to the FTC. While we believed in giving peace a chance, we have complete confidence in our case and welcome the opportunity to present our cases in court." So our boy Bobby Kotick is saying that the deal will close. He thinks that it's going to close. He thinks it's not going to be that big of a deal. So all in all, I don't know if this is something we really need to worry about. Obviously, there are concerns. Like we talked about when this deal first went through, there are concerns about Xbox making Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive, but everyone involved at Microsoft and Call of Duty still think this is going to go through, which is good. I personally am excited that Microsoft is going to own Activision so that they can actually give Activision the money and stuff they need. Whereas Activision was kind of, you know, under Bobby Kotick was, yeah, kind of bad. So I'm personally okay with Microsoft getting like the DLC drops earlier or like exclusives for their own platform, but as long as the game itself still stays out there. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.